welcome to Talkin Baseball. Is the deal going to get done? Maybe. We hope so. Let's talk about it. Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball, brought to you by SeatGeek. My name is Jimmy. His name is Jake. Trevor in the middle, California, and producer BBD behind the desk. I have great news for everyone. Tomorrow, we go to Arizona. While we're away from the office for the week, a production company, a professional one, is taking all this equipment, throwing in a dumpster, and bringing in all new equipment that should hopefully resolve all the audio issues that we have in our new studio. So I know it's been troublesome. There's some pissy comments every now and then, and I'm like, I'm with you. We all dislike it just as much as you. So we were just wrangling that. That's why we were delayed. It's very quiet. I don't know if I'm loud, I'm quiet, whatever. Baseball might be back, it might not, whatever. Trev, how you doing?
What's up, guys? I'm excited to be here talking to you. I'm trying to get you back on my screen. I can't see you right now. Don't love that whole aspect of it. But I got my BGs on. I'm ready to play. There's a possibility that during this show, live on air, that we get baseball back. I'm not saying it's a big possibility, but there's a possibility. So I'm excited, and I'm ready to go to work. Jake, how are you doing?
James, Trevor, Big Baby David, everyone in the chat, Jeff Passon, the PA, the owners, the agents, lawyers, trade. Let's get this done. It seems like we're getting close. I mean, we've been saying the CBT and the playoffs, which have been the big issues. Those seem to be somewhat wrapped up. It sounds like we're down to international player stuff, which I do want to get in front of, because I think I even caught myself casually saying, like, we're down to just international player pool. Like, let's finish this. That's very important. I mean, that's very important. The way that fuels a third of the league and how those young guys get paid and stuff. There's a lot of moving things there. Whoa, trade. So we'll see. It's exciting. I know all the baseball Twitter freaks were up last night watching it, watching the tweets. I definitely didn't fall asleep on the couch again doing that, because that would stink for my back. But here we are. And yeah, maybe we get the big passing. Maybe we don't. I'm expecting another fake deadline, maybe midnight tonight, and then that's when we get it. So that's just a little Jakey anticipation. Tim?
Okay.
We are close. I stayed up because a little birdie told us it might happen, so I stayed up with my son, who's teething. Gave him some frozen breast milk to chew on. He liked that. He fell asleep. Worked out. I did not chew on it. I was kind of grossed out by him asking me to do it with him.
Everyone's tried it, James.
I haven't yet.
Well, get on board, bro. Like, go ahead and try that.
Not Katie's. I have this other woman that I order out.
You never had your mom's breast milk.
That's the other woman. I just said
you ordered from your mom?
Yes. Stocked up, 1989.
I was just going to say, I mean, you've had it.
It lasts forever.
I'll taste other dudes.
My mom's not a dude. Anyway, the offer that we have right now is a good, I don't know good, but it's a respectable offer. In my opinion, I am not too deep in this. I'm deeper than the casual baseball fan, I guess, because we've been reading all of this. Yeah. But, I'm not in the room. And there might be things attached to the offer that isn't public yet, and that might be holding it up. Like, I know at one point they said that like meals on the road go towards the CBT or whatever, and like that was kind of like, what? So like there might be little things that are holding up, but what we know about this current offer that MLB sent, I think if they sent this in December, everyone would be like, hey, this is a great starting point. Or like, hey, okay, this might be getting done easier. The CBT numbers went up. meaning the luxury tax, went up a respectable amount to 230 in next season, right?
Yes.
And then like 8% up every year because they were doing it. Was really like the first number was never really the problem. It was how little they were increasing because you have to set the precedent for the next CBT and all that. So I think the CBT numbers got to a point where the players are satisfied and if they sign it, those numbers, I think they've done well for the next one. Like they've improved. They've gotten better. So obviously I'll let Trev really speak on that as a former player, but from my outside opinion, it looks like we got to a nice spot there. There's also some other things.
So.
You think so?
Yeah, I think on the CBT, we're at a spot where there could be a deal. I've said this a million times on the show. I don't know why owners are so concerned about upping the CBT when only a few of them go over it. I understand that's what it's supposed to create parity. At its truest form, that's what this is supposed to be doing. That's why it's called the competitive balance tax. But the fact is, there's Steve Cohen and then there's the Dodgers. And like, that's about it. Who's going to be going over this? And, I think more so the owner should be worried about the penalties. I think a lot of the smaller market teams want the CBT to kind of be where it's at now, but just harsher penalties. I know they addressed it and put an extra tier of penalties in, a fourth tier. So I think that's what they're really concerned about. But I think, yeah, James, you're right. We're at a level now where I could see that kind of being like, hey, we're okay with that. Now let's iron out some of these other things I think you're about to get into.
Yeah. They're staying at 12 teams. They agreed on a lot of other stuff. And there's other things that in this deal are a win for the players, right? They got the $700K minimum pay. They got $40 million bonus pool. They got some other stuff. The only thing the players except that the owner said, like, if we raise the CBT to this number, they want a fourth threshold. There's been 3, and they want a fourth, basically the Steve Cohen, warning line, because they're so scared of him and the Dodgers just completely overspending everyone else. And then, according to the reports that I read, Steve Cohen agreed. They're like, hey, if you guys really want that and it's best for baseball, so it's like $300 million is the fourth level, which is hilarious because it's basically Steve Cohen sitting on his piles of money and be like, so you guys are terrified of how much more money I have than you, and we're going to put it in writing how scared you are? Okay,
what is
great.
the fourth level? What's the fourth level?
300 million, I thought?
No, the fourth level will be at the tax.
The tax.
What is it? So the first time it's 25 cents on the dollar, second time 50 cents on the dollar.
Oh, the punishment?
Right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
70 on the dollar, 75 on the dollar?
I don't know. That's enough to stop old Stevie boy. Got to be honest with
you.
you.
Be hilarious if he's like, if that's how scared you guys are me, sure, I'm fine with it, put in writing, and then still blows over it. And you're like, oh my God, this guy's rich.
I think what's funny is I think there would be a lot of owners who are like, yeah, go ahead, Steve, do it.
Yeah.
Because all that money gets redistributed. How do you say that word?
Yeah. You had it.
I got it.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's baseball wise, which again, we unfortunately haven't been able to think about a lot of things baseball wise. David Cohn always talks about it well on Towing the Slab that, the big market and small market owners have very different agendas. Mm-hmm. When you, I'm looking at last year's payrolls, or maybe they're the current payrolls right now. We'll see if they change, but we've got 12 teams under 100 million. And I feel like we've seen a lot of teams that, they kind of do the windows now in baseball, or they do the, what the hell are the Guardians doing right now? I have no idea. They just reset and they're just going to be the smallest market team forever. But even the New York Yankees, the team that myself, Tiny Tino Tortorella, used to work for, they would reset themselves from the tax every year. So teams are strategizing that way. I don't know. I think you're right, Trev. I think it's getting overblown because we do see the teams come up against it. If this turns out it's all in fear of Steve Cohen and the Mets, that is hilarious.
It's hilarious.
And go nuts, Uncle Steve. But yeah, let's keep raising that CBT because guess what? My former employer, or Tiny Tino Tortorella's employer, the Yankees, they keep raising that CBT. We're going to be signing guys, baby. Let's go.
Isn't it kind of funny that we're like, who's this CBT for? Who are all these tax thresholds for? And it's like the Dodgers and Uncle Stevie. Like, we don't even mention the Yankees anymore. That's like, that was the MO for a long time. We've talked about this, but it's funny to me how that works.
Just wait.
I want the Yankees to be.
They're still one of the teams that goes over it. I mean, it's them, the Red Sox, and the Dodgers are the teams that have gone over it. And now the Mets. So there's not a lot of teams that will even go over that third threshold. But they have. So what's the holdup then, I guess, if we're saying it's gotten so good? It seems, and there might be things that have not been reported, obviously, but what has been reported is that Jake's penis needs to get looked at. So he's going to Roman, getroman.com/Talkin. He's going to talk to a U.S. licensed healthcare professional. We wish him the best. And even if, whatever they say, they will be able to help what's going on down there. And ED is more common than most people think, Jake.
I know. I'm excited to get out to Arizona with Trev, and I was going to show him and say,
you take a look
what
at
do
this?
you think?
Yeah.
Should I talk to a licensed professional?
Yes. Say 52% of the men between the ages of 40 and 70 will experience some form of ED. Yeah. And the whole system that Roman has is completely confidential and totally discreet. So even if when Jake's doing this, you won't even know that he's doing it, but for sure he is doing it. With Roman, you can get a free online evaluation and ongoing care. It ships to you free with 2-day shipping. So go to getroman.com/Talkin today. And if you're prescribed, get $15 off your first month of ED treatment. Make sure you're ready to have confidence and control this fall and be Roman ready. Does your question pertain to Roman, Trev?
Roman. It's a Roman question.
Okay.
Not a Roman question, more of like a call.
Greek?
There's going to be a lot of young, strapping lads walking around our AZ house. A lot of testosterone in the air. Now, I think it's a good measurement. Like, if you're there and you don't get a little boost being around everybody, like, maybe then that's your cue to call Roman. So I'm just telling you that, Jake. If you're not feeling like a little extra, it's probably time to call Roman.
I think we're about to get an agreement, just to let you know. Bob just tweeted.
You saw the Bob thing. That's a big deal.
It's a big deal. So let's get to the bottom of this situation now.
I have something a little more important I want to get out there.
What is it?
Trev, I don't know if you know this yet. My sweet Jessica's coming to Arizona.
I did know that. She told me.
So you'll get a boner. What Nightingale just tweet?
It's kind of the end of this tale, so we'll get to the end of it because you gotta understand the whole thing with the international draft. They want an international draft. MLB wants an international draft, and in exchange, they're going to take away the draft pick compensation attached to the qualifying offer. This is a really interesting discussion. I really want to bounce some points off. It might be satisfied or completed by the end of the conversation, but I still think I'm interested in the dynamics of the choices being made here. So, international free agent, obviously, there's a bunch of money being sent to these teenagers in the DR every year. I think it was the one I remember is Sano and Gary Sanchez were the two best of their 16-year-old class, and there was a bidding war for both of them, and they both got big money, and then that gets sprinkled into their families and their communities, and obviously that's I just read 2 academic articles on the DR and how baseball players, and baseball is one of the biggest exports they have. And the Mariners just spent $7 million on a facility there. And all 30 teams have facilities in the DR that provides jobs, that provides everything, it's huge. And the question is, and David Ortiz had a whole conversation with Passon, is if they take away the system that's in place now and they go to a draft, how much of that infrastructure do teams pull out? And we don't need to groom guys and we don't need to be with them from age 12 to 16, hoping they sign with us because we just get to choose them. And we don't need to pay for their development from 12 to 16 or 14 to 16 and all that. How much does it just blow up a huge economy in the DR when they change the structure? Ortiz now said he's not opposed to it totally, but you can't do it next year because the whole country relies on this. They have these camps and academies everywhere for baseball players. So that's the one side of it. The other side is that the qualifying offer has ruined the middle, what we're really fighting for, the middle class, and you say that in quotes because they're all rich, players. Case in point, Dallas Keuchel was a free agent. He got offered the qualifying offer. He turned down the qualifying offer. There was a draft pick attached to Dallas Keuchel. He did not get signed until after the draft. He had to sit out 2 months of the season, maybe 2.5 months of the season. Once the draft happened, the pick was no longer attached to him. He got signed by the White Sox, right? So, and that killed Lance Lynn at one point. That killed a ton of players. Back in 2018, they had to make a camp specifically for these middle pack veteran players that weren't getting signed because there's draft picks attached to them. So that's the balance here, right? And who does the union have to protect? The middle class player that's part of the union, or the infrastructure of baseball and the DR and that whole system? It's a really interesting scale to me. I don't know the answer, but I think it's an interesting problem.
It is, and I think there's ways that you can probably do both if there ends up being a draft. And right now, Bobby Nightingale's saying that MLB has come back and said they won't implement it until 2024. Is that what it said?
And that's pretty nice then, because now that's what Ortiz said. They get 2 years to like figure out what that means.
Yeah. So in my thinking, if that does happen, yes, all these clubs have these, they have these academies down there, and they are grooming players, and it is an interesting business. I don't know if that's the right word to describe it. I've heard some good things about it. I've heard a lot of bad things about it. So this isn't like a perfect system in any way right now. If the draft does come, what I'd assume would happen, and take this for however you want to take it, I think a lot of agencies are going to start moving in down there and building their own complexes and saying, okay, if baseball teams aren't going to do it, we'll groom these players. And
Boris just buys the Mariners complex.
Basically, I'm assuming that that's what will happen. I don't know if I like that. But again, I don't know if I like what's going on down there. I've had conversations with a bunch of guys from the DR and Venezuela about kind of what goes on. And it's not, like I said, it's not exactly the best way to go about things.
Well,
but giving 2 years now is a big, and David. So basically what happened is David Ortiz has this call recorded and sends out to people. ESPN obtains a copy of it, then Passan talks to Ortiz about it. And all of this happens. It kind of blows up. And then within 20 minutes, basically, or like an hour, MLB's like, you know what? Fine. We'll give you that. We'll give you what you want. And I think that's kind of like a smart move on the owner side, saying like, look, you guys are saying this is a problem because you need time to solve it. We need time to get it right. Here's your time. Now let's go. Let's get this job done. So it's interesting, man.
There's definitely an unknown factor, like we're talking about, and we're all kind of dancing around. And yeah, I know our guy Ken Rosenthal did an article with Maria Torres that they talk about the system and the pros and cons of going to a draft. So I think, and you know, this is some top-notch Jake Storielli answering a question. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's just one of those things that I think if the deal got signed right now, that would be one of the bigger question marks going forward is how does this evolve? How does this change the system? Because like we've said over and over for the past few months now, however the system is laid out, the owners will try to take advantage of it to the best of their abilities. So does that mean that they'll flee from the DR, or will it be one of those things like the bigger market teams leave more of a presence down there, the agencies? It's a really tricky one.
Yeah, I mean, the reports I was reading, and Trev said, like, you know, there's some downsides to the way it's run. There's 2% of the players in these academies actually go on to like earn livings as baseball players. So and those academies aren't teaching a lot of or weren't. This was an article from 2016. A lot of life skills and education. So is leaving a lot of the youth that doesn't make it and doesn't get signed to go play minor league ball just like high and dry, because they're getting them out of high school years. It's a little like, you know, and in the U.S. draft, you're 18. You go through high school and you go through college. Then you get put through you don't get paid and you don't get set up for a future minor league system that we have, which they made efforts to change the last 2 years. But that's was the downside to what they have now is like these kids are young and they're being put in these baseball academies and you pay one guy $10 million and the other's $100 to play against him is basically the system. I think we're getting really close to a deal because this is all looking good. Again, I don't know the fullness of it, but what we've been seeing and what we're seeing now, we're pretty close.
I totally agree. And it's funny, if we come to an agreement within the next, I believe the deadline's probably 3, 4, 5 more days because all they're saying is we're going to add 3 days to the end of the season. If we come to the deal today, we could probably just add like 3 more days to the end of the season if we needed to do that. So 162 is definitely still in play, which has got me very excited. Like we need a full season of baseball. And again, I'm going to reiterate this. I said this before. Casual sports fans still don't even know about this.
Yeah.
Like they've heard rumors that, hey, this is what the question I get all the time. I'm sure you guys do too. Hey, what's going on with baseball?
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm like, oh, well, there's kind of like a lockout. What do you mean a lockout? Like they don't know yet. We still have time to save face. Doesn't mean I want any. I'm going to say it. I don't want either side to rush into a deal they don't want. How about that? That's not how deals are supposed to be done. Like you're supposed to, go and negotiate and get a deal done that you both can live with. But dang, we're close, man. And 162 is here. And then we got TPPs to record. And then we're going full speed for a freaking 8-month period. And I can't wait. Like I'm getting juiced up right now. Look at me.
Gina Franco
like this very often.
Gina Franco in the chat said, how many times do we have to hear pretty close? And my response is, this is the first time you're hearing it from us. This is the first time I've felt like they're pretty close.
Yes.
Like
we
the
haven't
whole
said that
time.
before.
Nightingale and Heyman, because the owners are telling them, tell people it's pretty close, have been saying that. But this is legitimately the first time where I thought it was, and everyone said they have to get the CBT to where they need it to be. And it is. So then the fringes, they got the main meal done. Now they're finishing up dessert, basically.
We hope. We hope.
There's stuff we don't know.
If again, because we're back on the Heyman Nightingale train, and Heyman just tweeted out things are moving slow today, kind of pulling the thread on 162 again. If somehow the rug does get pulled out on this, like, I think we end up in probably the ugliest period because then the owners come back and they say, well, there's no chance at 162. We're not paying you at 162, and things could unravel quickly. So, yeah, I mean, it's a sensitive time. You wonder what are going on in what should be these final hours and when our next fake deadline is. Trev, I saw you raised a finger.
One, I turned my mic up a little bit. How does that sound?
Great.
Better?
Sexy.
Okay. This was kind of making the rounds a little bit yesterday. There was the Apple Friday Night Baseball coming to Apple TV.
Yeah, that was funny.
Which, got to be honest with you, I would have put it on Disney Plus rather than Apple TV. That's just me because I am a better planner for the future of baseball, but no big deal. How much of Apple announcing that deal, like, was that the pressure for the owners to be like, hey, let's move a little bit? You don't think so? Because you can't cry poor and be like, hey, we just did a deal with Apple. Like, baseball's not dying. Revenue's there. And this is the first of many things that they can do with different subscription services, different platforms.
Who do you think it put pressure on? Or who are you asking?
Owners.
The owners.
I'm saying like the owners. I think.
But they knew the deal was happening.
They knew the deal was happening, but they didn't do a joint press conference. This wasn't like MLB didn't put it out. This Apple put it out. Am I right about that? I didn't see like MLB promote it.
From my knowledge, they would have had to know
that they were going to.
There's no way, in my opinion, from working with MLB on things,
that the players didn't know.
That the players didn't know, or that MLB didn't know Apple was going to announce this today. I would bet like a lot of money that
it makes sense to me too.
Yeah.
I agree with you that that should happen, but
Yeah, it's how much what we don't know and we'll never know is how much do optics actually matter. Like we've heard people in the press say, like, that's what actually makes either side move is if they start looking bad. Who knows? But yeah, hey, if they get a deal done today, credit to Apple. Maybe I'll buy some Apple stock.
Because both sides had to know about that already. Did the public just find out?
well, that's the thing that's what I'm talking about. The public reaction to that is like, oh, well, obviously baseball has revenue coming in from several different areas. So you can't really say baseball's not lucrative.
Yeah.
Owning which has been said in the last couple of weeks, which is crazy to me. But dude, we're close. I know we're close.
Be excited. Like you said, our life gets put into a whirlwind.
I know we're close.
We get put into a whirlwind recording TPPs, PPPs, BBD, CBD.
We're going to have to load up on some trade coffee.
Oh, dude, I didn't get any sleep last night, so I could use some trade coffee right now. I think we have a lot in the office. Trade coffee. 90% of coffee from the grocery store is 90% of coffee from the grocery store is stale.
Boom.
Boom roasted grocery store coffee. You heard that right. The coffee you know and think you love needs an upgrade. Instead of rebuying the same old, let Trade Coffee send you something freshly roasted that you're literally guaranteed to love. How do you take your coffee? Full-bodied roast, something light. I like light roast because more caffeine, and I'm in it for the caffeine, not like the taste or the fanciness of it. Just give me the caffeine. Everyone's got their preferences. No matter what you love to drink, Trade Coffee makes it easy to brew your best cup at home. They sell the freshest roasts and ethically sourced beans from America's best independent roasters. They ship free to you as often as you like, whole or ground. Whether you're a coffee nerd or just want a better daily cup, Trade's real coffee expert taste test over 400 roasts and use technology to match your ideal coffee based on your preferences and brewing method. You take a quiz, tell them what they like. You'll get your first bag. They guarantee you'll love your first bag or they'll replace it for free. So go to Trade Coffee is offering a total of $20 off your first 3 bags when you go to drinktrade.com/baseball. Take the quiz, start your journey, drinktrade.com/baseball, $20 off first 3 bags. Boom.
Yes, what kind of coffee I enjoy? Or you said what kind of coffee you enjoy? I like mine like creamy, but I don't want any creamer in there. Does that make any sense?
Interesting.
A little, but not entirely.
Yeah, it doesn't. You're right. I don't know.
I like diner coffee. Like I like pretty just black, kind of basic, not too acidic.
Me and you, James, are pot guys. We want a pot of coffee.
Yes.
Big pot guys.
Jake's this freaking loser. Doesn't drink coffee. So
Drinks coffee, but he kind of just asks for like something sugary and brown.
It's like the toast scale thing that comes out every year. Like, if black coffee is A and then like almost a milky coffee was M, I'm like a C. I basically like what you said. I just like a little bit of cream in there.
I don't want any cream, but like my coffee machine makes it so it's like frothy. Love that.
You like putting the flavors in there. If there's like a fun flavor, you throw that in there.
Sometimes, yeah.
The chat is kind of popping about a Peacock deal. Is that a new deal or is that just the Apple deal?
I don't know. I know there's a couple other deals. I ain't no reporter.
We're not reporters. We're not.
Not reporters. But I mean the Apple deal,
God, what if I break the news? Should I break the news?
No.
I've been getting a lot of info very early that I haven't put out on Twitter.
Okay.
Wonder if I can break this. That'd be something.
You want to be play-by-play for Apple?
No.
That's what I said.
I would kill it though.
Sure. It's like, no.
Me. Who else would I bring on board with me? I don't know. I don't really like that many people.
Mm.
Still beefing with Fuzzy because the lockout's still here.
Oh, you know who's in the office today?
I don't.
Someone you beef with.
Someone you beef with a lot. Beef with a lot.
Ooh. Beef with him a lot. Oh, Bill. Behind the scenes Bill.
No,
No.
no, it's probably not.
Oh.
That's a good guess. Good guess.
Who is it?
Foolish.
Oh, my guy Foolish.
Just saw him walking around.
What a freaking dork.
410. I didn't know it.
Sick of that guy.
There is a Peacock deal that I think was half announced end of February, and I think is like fully getting announced now.
Nice. Well, there's another one coming too for certain teams.
People in the chat, I don't have the news. I'm saying if I get the news, should I break the news?
No.
Once I get the news. You know what they do? I got to have a draft already made up. That's what, like a tweet deck type thing. And then you just press.
Like how
You're
Jake
having
is
it
supposed to
typed
have
out.
my obituary already written.
As soon as you die, we're putting it out. 100%.
So just like a screenshot of his notes app should be like
Oh,
in
it's-
his drafts.
It's red. It's a video.
Oh, okay.
Well,
It's a video.
Baby James and I have already talked about this. Like, we have a lot of plans for you and Jake. So,
Baby James coming to Arizona too.
Better not
wait to
get
talk
you a
about-
boner.
Can't wait to talk business with the guy.
I should tell Katie to bring a little suit for him, and then you guys just chat. Take a picture of you guys chatting business with Jake,
Like a-
just
like
like,
a- like a
on the
boss lady
outskirts,
suit?
like a little blurry. Jake like eavesdropping, like, oh shit,
Lurking.
my demise is coming.
BBD Snack Foolish. Get him in
Yeah,
here.
bring that guy in here.
Foolish is going to
Oh,
be
yeah.
on with us. We're doing JJR after this. You guys
I
should tune
think
into
he's
that.
more handsome that he lets on, and I don't like that.
Really?
He's
We
like
can,
trying to be nerdy. I think he's more handsome than that.
We're gonna end this show in about 7 minutes
Mm.
because then we're still on pace to do the rest of our day, which is quite busy.
How many minutes do we have?
7 to 8. Christian Navarro Data says, John Boy getting streaming license? We are not. We are not. I don't think we have the technological infrastructure for that.
We can barely zoom.
Well, actually, like spring training games was something that was discussed. Not on MLB or the other team side, but on internally going after that, like just getting one. But then we said no.
It's a little warm.
Here it comes. Here you go.
Do they see me? Oh.
I told you. Look at this guy.
What are we talking about?
He was saying that you're handsome.
I am handsome.
Like, you're
Yeah.
more handsome than you let on, and I don't like that about you. I want you to just embrace it.
You want me? Yeah, because I'm really like coy and sheepish about it. You know, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
me handsome?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. You
Yes.
know.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see you like come out like rocking some like a Tom Ford suit
Ooh.
and just walking down the streets of New York and just see what happens.
I think I'd look.
You might
really
get picked
good
up by
in,
a
like-
modeling agency.
Yeah, I'd look. I mean, I'm not tall enough for that, but like, I look good in like kind of like heroin chic. You know, like black leather, like all that stuff, like distressed jeans. I look pretty good.
Are
in
you a
that.
bad boy?
I'd go to the other side of the street if I saw you coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I have a question. Are you prepared for the lineup that we're doing on John Boy Jake Radio in about 30 minutes?
Yes, quasi prepared.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Jake probably hasn't thought about it at all. Your face kind of did like, oh shit, that. Yeah. Yeah, that.
And then the other question.
You
is-
smell great, Bailey.
Thank you. Yeah, I just. By the
Tell
way,
him how he smells and be honest.
Mm,
Because he wore that shirt yesterday.
sausage.
Went to a bar last night.
Yeah. I mean, there's a little BO, but it's not bad. Like it's just enough to let you know that he's there. You know.
Like some women would be into it and be like, must.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
He's a guy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's good stuff. You think that this deal is gonna get done today?
yeah.
I think it's close.
Oh yeah, they're getting close for sure. I don't know about today, but like, hopefully this week. You know.
Should we go?
For the Arizona
still
trip,
get
it'd be best
162.
if it got done like in 3 days.
Okay. Yeah. So like
That's
you would
true.
still be
We
there
don't
when
want
they
people to
start to arrive.
like, piecing out on
potentially, or-
us.
No, actually, we don't want people to leave because they'd have to
Oh.
report. If it gets done today, they have to report Friday, and then they might not be coming to our house Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
We'd still
Gotcha.
have some guys. We'll be all
Yeah,
right.
we have guys locked in, but you know,
Well, Well,
God,
I'm,
this is
I'm
such a
rooting
good
for you
time to
guys.
tweet
Thank you.
eyeball emojis.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Appreciate
What
it.
if we all tweet eyeball
Foolish,
emojis
give the
right
people
now?
one free agent signing prediction after the lockout.
Okay. Let's do Correa to the Yankees. Yeah.
Really?
I think they want it bad. And no Seager, like no Simeon, like I think they want like a legit shortstop.
Okay.
We got a Miles Straw
Recorded.
eyeball emoji tweet.
Ooh.
Really?
I'm gonna tweet eyeballs too.
That's going to
I
confirm
got you,
it. I'll
right?
go ahead and tweet it out right now and I don't have any inside information.
I might tweet eyeballs
eyeball
too.
emoji is eyeball emoji. It means nothing.
I've been like
Is everyone
squatting.
tweeting eyeballs?
Yeah, but I'm actually going to take a picture of your eyes.
I can't hear Trev. Okay.
Okay, Trev's treating eyeballs. You everyone? All right, well, that's the end of the show. If you're hanging out and you're watching live on YouTube and you want to come for John Boy and Jake Radio, it's going to be at like 2 o'clock, which is like half hour. And Foolish is going to be
I'll
with
be
us.
there. Yeah.
And we're going to do fun stuff. The music plays now. I might tweet eyeballs too.
Like squatting.
Yeah, but I'm actually going to take a picture of your eyes. That's me. Okay, Trev's. Jake sucks. You look like Bud Selig. Don't you look like a young Bud Selig?